The National Assembly. We're going to speak, I guess this is the first time that we're going to hear from the opposition in Parliament, considering, of course, that you have a government of national unity, and the decision that was taken is that considering that the second biggest party, which is the Democratic Alliance, is part of the government of national unity, they can't carry the status of official opposition. And as we said a bit earlier on, Iman, as well, that ordinarily we would have heard an alternative medium budget policy statement from the Democratic Alliance, as it has happened before, but this time around, because they are part of the government of national unity, there is no alternative medium budget policy statement. Let's now speak to Omphile about what their expectations are as the EFF. Omphile, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for making time for us. It is the first medium-term budget policy statement under the government of national unity. Are there any fireworks from the EFF side that you think that we should expect?
No, thank you very much, and good morning to you and the viewers of Newzroom. Look, correctly as you're saying, this is the first medium-term budget policy statement after the government of national unity, the Grand Coalition with the Democratic Alliance. So when the minister tabled his budget back in February, it did not take into account the effects of the upcoming elections, which were held in May 2024 this year, which saw no outright winner in terms of the electorate. So then the ANC formed this grand coalition with the Democratic Alliance, and this is really the first budget. It's very interesting because these people are coming from different ideology, different school of thought, you know. So it will be very interesting to know what the policy statement will be. But we are not shocked, because the ANC for the longest time, actually for all its existence in the democratic state, they've always pushed for neoliberal policies of the DA. So them and the DA, they're actually talking the same language. So yeah, no fireworks. I mean, but really you can't expect anything from the minister, because he hasn't really given clear direction on where this country is going. For the longest time, the ANC hasn't done that. Aldrin, the debt today sits at 4 trillion. Back in 1994, when the democratic state came into effect, the debt was 245 billion. Now, there's not so much issue about the debt, but the problem becomes when you actually borrow money to pay debt. You must borrow money, but that money must be used to create infrastructure, to build industries, so that you are able to produce goods and services and sell back to the market for you to recover that money and still make profit and pay your debt. Now, what we've seen the minister doing in the past MTBPS, and including the budget speeches, is that he's coming up with austerity measures, which is cutting down on expenses and trying to reduce the debt. But that will not help, because you are not producing anything. Now they introduced, after COVID-19, they introduced SRD grant of 350 rands. You produce that grant, fair enough. As the EFF, we've been advocating for a graduate grant, because our people went to school, they want to come back home to work, there's no job opportunities that this government has created. But with that money, are you not supposed to be industrializing? Take these people that are unemployed. We are sitting here today, 11.2 million people are unemployed. Why are you not creating opportunities for these people? And Mr. Ramaphosa, when he took government in 2018, we were sitting at 9.5 million people unemployed. Today we are sitting at 11.2. And Aldrin, you'll remember in his speech, the opening of Parliament speech, back in this year, back in February, he spoke about the presidential employment stimulus. Where is it? How is it assisting our people when we see employment rates growing higher and higher? So the finances of this country are not speaking to the real issues of job creation, of poverty levels, of taking our people from this high inequality that we find ourselves in, for as long as they don't create jobs.
Okay, Omphile, unfortunately we don't have enough time, but I quickly want to ask the EFF's take on this. The Reserve Bank governor had said that the time has come to relook at the target range of the inflation between 3 to 6, to lower that, the Reserve Bank governor said. Is this something that you think could help the country?
It could, but up to what extent, Aldrin? Is it not just a short-term thing? We are looking at the long-term thing. Actually, talking about the Reserve Bank, the bill is back on the table. for the nationalization of the Reserve Bank, because we feel strongly that the Reserve Bank is not serving the interests of the people of South Africa. We need a central bank that is going to drive industrialization, because if you look at the financial sector, which remains untransformed 30 years down the line, is enabled by the Reserve Bank, which refuses to transform the financial sector. They just increase the interest rate, and financial sector will claim profits, billions and billions of profits, when our people are lingering and languishing in poverty, absolute poverty. So we need a Reserve Bank that is going to play a critical role in industrializing our economy and creating jobs for our people.
Omphile Maotwe there, who is the Treasurer General of the EFF and of course a member of the Standing Committee on Finance here at the National Assembly. So we wait to see what the Minister will announce a bit later on in his medium-term budget policy statement, and also what will happen to the money that some of the provinces are asking for, especially when it comes to education. Back to you, Iman.